Oh, so debt, loans and borrowing, credit, how that dominates our lives. Oh boy, you want to have a family, you're practically forced into it. So where do they come from? Well, Neil Ferguson, a college professor who makes great videos, TV shows on his subject. He's a historian. He makes one on the subject of where debt and credit came from. Well, we go back hundreds of years, and the situation is the Christian religion forbids the charging of interest, but the Jewish religion does not. So the Jews got into money lending in a small way. They would sit on little benches, and the name of the bench in Italy is bank. That's where the word bank comes from. And they'd make their loans and do the stuff. And it worked pretty well. Yeah. And Christians would borrow from them and do business without committing a sin. Okay, now after them it develops, it becomes a special prerogative of the Medici family, a group that had formerly been hung for being criminals, but after they got into the loan business, calling it commissions instead of interest, which Ferguson said is the reason they were able to get away with it, but I think probably more a matter it was convenient to pretend so. Anyway, now what do they want to borrow all this money for? The thing with the fashion of the day was you hired an army and to attack the neighboring city and take over. And this cost a lot of money. And then a neighboring city might hire an army, might even be the same army some time later. And you can see how this gets very, very expensive. You've got to borrow a lot of money. And anybody that can do the borrowing ends up winning. And the Medicis were able to do it. Medicis. And the artworks they left behind are still great tourist attractions in Italy. Ferguson's even seen there in the videos reading the Medici pages from their old ledgers, thick core, kind of unlevel paper, and nice, neat writing across the pages. So through various chicaneries and stuff, they got away with it. Now, eventually, it pooped. Times come, times go. And next was the Rothschilds. Mr. Rothschild had 4 sons or 5 sons. One stationed in London, Nathan Rothschild, described as short, fat, and very clever. So he's backing the English side during the Napoleonic Wars. And his function is to pay for it. So he raises the money. And Wellington, the British general, can't use money. He can't use promises of paper. He's got to have gold to pay off all these people. So Nathan raises a great deal of money, buys gold, sends it over successfully to Wellington. And Napoleon's last battle before exile was Waterloo, as everybody knows. And, well, the Allies, British and others, managed to win. Wellington stated later it was a very near thing. But the other armies joined on their side late that evening and put it over. So that was the reason for all the borrowing, lending, interest, wars, to fight wars, take over neighbors, take neighboring cities at first, Now we take over neighboring nations and pretend we're not doing that. That's what it's all about. It's largely a fashion, though. Some people obsess about one factor or another, saying it's all because of the Federal Reserve or all because of pigs. That's my view, and oil, that kind of thing. It's a fashionable way to take over thy neighbor. It becomes fashion. I suppose someday it will cease to be fashion.